Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. I hope everyone is doing well on this Sunday morning. Before we get into today's show, please do me a small favour. Make sure to drop a like on this episode. And if this is your first time watching, don't forget to subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, get involved. Right, on the show today, we're going to be talking about Jonathan David. We're going to be talking about Hojlund. We're going to be talking about Luke Shaw. And we're going to be talking about Aid in Heaven, as well as lots of other things. As always, I invite you to have your say in the comment section. But before we do that, today's question is this. Who should Manchester United sign as the new striker this summer? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And we will start off by talking about Jonathan David, because there is a story that broke, I think it was late last night actually, but it's coming out from multiple different people, all of the newspapers here in the UK, saying that apparently Manchester United are in talks with Jonathan David over a summer move. Now, for me, this will be a really, really clever bit of business. For anybody who's unaware, Jonathan David's contract expires in June, so he would be a free agent. He would cost us nothing. 25 years of age, 14 goals, 3 assists in only 24 games this season. So what's that? 17 goals and assists in 24 games in the French league. Yes, it's the French league, but still, it's a good return. American international. Would that be the first American to play for Man United? I'm just trying to think. Can anybody think of anyone? The only American to play for Manchester United is Jonathan Spector, who joined the club in 2001 and played for them until 2004. I'll be honest, I've never heard of them. He made his first team debut in the 2001 season. Yeah, I don't know. Never heard of him. I don't know if anybody knows who that is. Jonathan Spector. Anyway, he'd be the first notable American player to play for Manchester United. Sorry, he's Canadian. He's not American. What am I on about? He was born in America, but he's Canadian. My bad. I don't think we've had any Canadians, have we? Oh, no, we have. Owen Hargreaves. What? Owen Hargreaves, Canadian-born Welsh footballer. But he didn't play for Canada, did he? That's weird. I didn't know he was Canadian. Well, you learn something new every day, don't you? That's crazy. Owen Hargreaves was born in Canada. I did not know that. He didn't play for Canada, though, did he? Yeah, no. Anyway, he'd be the first Canadian of notability. Tim Howard. Tim Howard didn't play for Man United. He would be insulted by you calling him an American. It was because I was on Transfer Market and it says he was born in Brooklyn, so I just immediately thought, oh, he's American, you know? But he's not. He's Canadian. Yeah, I don't know who Jonathan Spector is. Anyway, Jonathan David, let's go back to that. So we've got multiple different people this morning. So this is the first one that's come out this morning. This is coming from, where is it coming from? All right, here it is. It says Manchester United officials are actively engaging in talks with Jonathan David's entourage about a summer move. And then you have another story here which says that Manchester United are currently in active and concrete negotiations to sign Lille striker Jonathan David on a free transfer this summer. That's coming out from French reports. And then you also have other people in the UK saying the same thing. So it's been widely reported. One of the articles does, however, state that apparently Arsenal and Tottenham are interested. I mean, there's a real opportunity here to get, I wouldn't say he's prolific, but a good goal scorer. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he is prolific. He's got 7 goals in the Champions League so far this season, Jonathan David, in 10 games, and 2 assists as well. So 9 goals and assists in 10 games in the Champions League. Like, that's pretty impressive. 33 goals in 41 games this season. And then you look at his stats last season, right, across a whole year. Last season, he got 34 goals and assists in 47 games. So he's almost averaging a goal or an assist every single game, pretty much, just about. So, yeah, I think he'd be a great option. He's 25 years of age. Wages, I don't think would be a problem, really, because, yes, he's going to ask for a lot more money than he's on at Lille because it's a free transfer. But at the moment, for Lille, he currently is earning, where is it? Here it is. Lille, he's earning £31,000 a year. Sorry, a week, not a year. That'd be like, what would that be? be like £500 a week. But yeah, he's on about 30 grand a week at Lille. So, you know, if Man United said, you know what, we'll give you 100 grand a week, we'll give you a 5-year contract, and you're going to be, I don't know if he'd be the main striker, but you're going to be like, you're going to get a lot of game time here. I think he'd be stupid not to take that, realistically. You know, to triple his salary, to go and play for the biggest club in the world, and to be the first Canadian of notability to play for Manchester United and to kind of rewrite history. Like, that would be massive for him, for his family, and even for Canada as well. I know that's I'm going a little bit far-fetched here, but to be known as the first Canadian of notability to play for Manchester United, like, that's pretty cool, isn't it? So I'm actually really excited about this one. I think if Ineos managed to pull this off, it would be a really clever bit of business. I think, you know, they can keep telling us that we have no money. Fine. Maybe we don't have any money, but there are opportunities out there on the market. So if they tell us that we have no money and then they don't manage to sign Jonathan David, we're going to all be sat here scratching our heads saying, well, you tell us we don't have any money. Okay, fine. We accept that. But at the same time, there is a player here who, like I just said, has got 7 goals and 2 assists in 10 Champions League games this season. He's available for nothing. Why are you not signing him? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So hopefully Manchester United can agree something soon, because remember, Manchester United could agree a pre-contract agreement now with him because his contract expires in June. So we could literally be doing this deal now and announce it now. There's nothing stopping us. Obviously, he's going to want to get the best price, but we pay bigger wages than Tottenham and we pay bigger wages than Arsenal. So I don't think that would be a problem, really. It is the one thing that does kind of weird me out about Jonathan David is that he's a name that's been mentioned for so many years with so many clubs, and he's never really, well, he's never got a move, has he? He's always just seems to have stayed at Lille. I don't know whether that's him just running down his contract. I don't know whether he's got injury issues, but he's been at Lille for 5 years, right? And every single summer, a top Premier League club is linked to Jonathan David, and then the deal never seems to happen. And I don't know why it is. If anybody has any suggestions or any answers, I'd love to know, because you look at his injury record, okay? In his whole professional career, he's only missed 3 games in his whole career, which is crazy. He missed 1 game in 2022 with a hand injury, okay? And he missed 1 game in 2020 with an ankle injury. Sorry, 2 games in 2020 and 1 game in 2022. So he's not injury prone. He's prolific in front of goal, I would say. And his wages aren't very high. It's really strange. Like, does anybody have any ideas? Does anybody have any theories? They overpriced him. Okay. That probably would make sense, to be fair. Yeah, maybe it was. Maybe it is just as simple as that. Maybe they did just overprice him. Maybe they said, you know, this is too much money. I don't know. Anybody got any ideas? Somebody says he's not good enough. What, he's not good enough? Somebody who scored 7 goals in the Champions League isn't good enough, and he's available for nothing. I mean, that sounds good to me. Somebody who's bagged 7 goals in the Champions League. We're playing in the Europa League, and none of our players have scored 7 goals in the Europa League, have they? Offering big wages to unknown players. I wouldn't say he's unknown. He's been playing in the Champions League for the last 3 or 4 years. Giving Hojlund 120 grand a week, that's a bad idea. Somebody who'd scored 7 goals in his professional career. This guy's literally scoring every single year. The season before that, he got 28 goals in the French league. Season before that, he got 3 goals in the Champions League. Like, you know, he's an experienced player. And even for Canada, if you look at his stats for Canada, he's played 60 times for Canada and he's got nearly 40 goals in 60 games. So he's doing it in, on lots of different levels. It's not just in the French league. That's the point I wanted to make. He's doing it in the Champions League. He's doing it at international level. And he's a proper centre forward. If you look at his stats for Lille, in 220 games for Lille, he's got 107 goals and 27 assists. So he's averaging more than a goal or an assist every other game, which is incredible. Now, obviously, you have to take in mind that the Premier League is a different level. So, if he gets if he gets like 25 goals in the French league, that might mean he gets 15 to 20 in the Premier League. But still, like, we don't have that at the moment. But yeah, I'm excited about this. I think it's a really good deal if we can get this done. So, yeah. Let me know what you think. Would you like to see Jonathan David at Manchester United? Right, keep it on the topic of strikers. We're now going to talk about Rasmus Hojlund. How does everybody feel about Hojlund at the moment? Do you think we should keep Hojlund? Do you think we should move him on? Let me know what you think. The thing with Hojlund is I think there's definitely potential there. I think the transfer fee we paid was based on the fact that we thought he would turn into a world-class player. It hasn't happened yet. So now the transfer fee kind of hangs over him. The thing for me is if someone offered us a large amount of money for Hojlund, I think I would sell him. Because I think, if we're being told that we constantly need money, then like maybe he's an opportunity. But at the same time, I don't really see how we're going to be able to break even on him. So, yeah, I don't know. I think bringing in someone like Jonathan David, though, would be clever because if you bring in like a Gyökeres or an Osimhen, they start every single game. Whereas I think with Jonathan David, there could be some rotation between David and Hojlund. Whereas with Osimhen and Gyökeres, I think it would be a bit more difficult. So if we were to sign like a Gyökeres, I would expect Hojlund to go out on loan maybe. But if you were to sign Jonathan David, I think you could share the load between Jonathan David, Chido Obi and Hojlund. And I think that would be pretty decent as a strike force. Whereas that if Gyökeres or Osimhen come in, they're going to want to play every single game because, they're of that level, aren't they, where they expect to be playing every single game. So, yeah. I'm just trying to find the story from Fabrizio because he was talking about Hojlund. So I want to try and get it up quickly. Where is it? Okay, so this is Fabrizio Romano. He says that clubs have begun contacting Manchester United for Rasmus Hojlund to inquire about his availability and how much he will cost. Fabrizio says the interest is there and it could be a deal for this summer. He says United want to bring in an important striker this summer. So effectively teams are circling for Hojlund because they can see an opportunity here, probably to get him for a cut price deal. But as I said, unless we're going to at least break even in relation to amortization, it's completely pointless, really. Like if you sell Hojlund and you make a loss on your books, then you may as well just keep him because then if you make a loss on your books, it means we can spend less money, So there's no benefit of doing it unless you can do a deal that works. We paid 73 million euros for him, right? The deal was over 5 years. So by the time the summer comes around, we'll have 43 million euros left to pay in relation to amortization, okay? So obviously, overall, we would lose money. But in relation to financial fair play, we would have to sell him for more than £36 million for our books to show either a break even or a profit. So, I mean, it is possible. I think you could probably get around that type of money for him, realistically. But yeah, I don't know. How does everybody feel about Hojlund? Like, would you keep him? Would you move him on? Would you send him out on loan? Like, what would be your kind of like middle ground on this situation here? Let me know in the comments. I'm really interested to see. I think if someone was willing to pay like 50 million for him, which they're not going to do, then I would sell him. If not, I would loan him out, hope that he does well, bring him back, and then hopefully he's one for the future. But I wouldn't sell him at a loss. Like there's zero benefit of that. So it would have to be, yeah, at least enough so in relation to amortization, we haven't lost money. And if not, loan him out or bring in someone like Jonathan David, someone a little bit less of a big name versus like an Osimhen, and kind of have them battle it out between them. So those are the kind of few options that I would lay out. But obviously, I'd be interested to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section. Yeah, let me know. I'm very interested to see what you guys all think about Rasmus Hojlund. I think everybody seems to have a differing opinion about Hojlund. I do like him. I like the fact that he's a Manchester United fan. I like his passion. I like his hunger. I just don't think he's ready to be leading the line for Manchester United. And that's why I'm like, maybe we should just loan him. Maybe he goes off somewhere, he gets more experience and he comes back and he is the striker that we all hoped and wished that he would be. Because he is still very, very young, remember. He is only 22. He just turned 22. And if you look at, say, like Harry Kane, right, as an example, Harry Kane at age 22 was... Harry Kane at the age of 22 was playing for Millwall on loan. Which is mad. So that kind of sums it up, doesn't it? When you look at like a top striker like Harry Kane, at where he was in his career at the same age as of Hojlund. Harry Kane is now 31. So yeah, 9 years ago would be 2016. Yeah, I mean, that's mad, isn't it? Like, Harry Kane was at Millwall, he was at Norwich, he played for Leyton Orient. Like, he did the rounds before he kind of was Tottenham's first choice striker, which was, I think, yeah, it wasn't until, wow, it wasn't for a while, was it, after that? So, yeah, I think that would be the solution for Hojlund. Either sell him for 50, 60 million, which is probably not going to happen, or you attempt to loan him out. Chris says, look at Gyökeres. He was playing for Coventry at that age. Yeah, exactly. You know, so I'm not writing him off. I think there's definitely massive potential in Hojlund, but at the end of the day, like, we can't just sit around waiting for him to learn. And at the same time, you've got to think what's best for the player's career. And I'd hope that the people around Hojlund are saying, you know, you need to go out on loan. You need to be in a different environment. You need to build and grow, because at the moment your career is going backwards instead of forwards. So yeah, that's my take on that. Next up, we've got some news about Luke Shaw. Great. So the news on Luke Shaw this morning is that apparently he is back in training. He is on the grass. Wow. I swear he was back in training like a month ago. And then he got injured again just from going on the grass. It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, fair play to him in some ways that he's just cashing in on doing nothing, but you would almost expect there'd be some level of personal pride where he'd say, you know what, my body's clearly, every single time I try and play football, it's breaking down. Like, this isn't for me. Like, he's just destroying himself, really, you know? But at the same time, he's being paid like $100,000 a week to do that, to go in the gym every day, to eat every day, well, I mean, he's not even playing football, really, is he? He's just probably going to the gym every day, realistically, and having massages and going in the sauna and going in the hot tub, and, you know, that probably is his life, realistically. So, I mean, I say you can't really blame him, but yeah, I don't know. Right, what else have we got? Let's see what people are saying in the chat. I mean, hopefully he comes back. Hopefully Luke Shaw comes back, and hopefully we can get it sorted, because it's just annoying now that we're stuck in this situation, you know, where we've got a player who's on $100,000 a week, is our best left back, but he's just injured all the time. It's just incredibly frustrating. Jay says, who even is Shaw? Yeah, I know. I mean, how many times has Luke Shaw played this season? Let's have a look. I like Luke Shaw as well. As a footballer, when he's in his prime, Luke Shaw is a good player. Like, we can criticise him and say, get him out of my club and all of that. And I agree with all of that, 100%. But when Luke Shaw's in his prime, he's decent and he improves us massively. Marcus Rashford, when he had his one good season, was when he was playing with Luke Shaw. When Luke Shaw was doing the overlapping runs, creating space. So, you know, Luke Shaw should take a lot of credit for that season when Marcus Rashford got his 30 goals, because he was playing every single game alongside him, and he was a massive part of that. So we have to remember that. He is a quality player. He's just absolutely riddled with injuries. This season, across all competitions, he's played 98 minutes. So he's played the equivalent of one game of football in a whole season. It's crazy. On a human level, like, you obviously have to feel a little bit like, I mean, I'm not sorry for him is maybe not quite the right word, on $100,000 a week to just be going to the gym every day. Imagine that your life is just to go to the gym every day, have free food, have massages every day, and you're being paid $100,000 a week, and you don't really have to actually do anything. Like, that would be the dream, wouldn't it, for most people, to just go and do you know, some walking on the treadmill every day, go and lift weights every day, be fed lovely food every day for free, and you're paid $100,000 a week to do that. Have massages every day, physio every day. Like, that sounds great. And I know obviously he's a professional footballer, and I'm sure he wants to play football and all the rest of it. I get it. But yeah, I don't know. But hopefully he comes back, and hopefully we actually see some of Luke Shaw for the rest of the season. Jay says, you only say he's good because he is from Britain. Wow. It's quite an interesting take there. So that's... I always find it weird when people say stuff like that. It's strange. I don't get it. So, well, you honestly don't think that Luke Shaw, when he was in his prime, was a good footballer? Forget all the injuries. Luke Shaw's footballing ability, when he was in his prime, I thought he was decent. He was in the England squad, you know. He was, and I don't even support England really, to be honest. Like, so I don't know. I don't really understand that whole narrative, but that's fine. That's fine to have that opinion. Obviously, we need to get rid of him. Obviously, it's unacceptable that he's injured all the time. Obviously, it's ridiculous we're paying all this money, and I get all of that, and I agree with all of that. I'm just saying that we would be a better team if we had Luke Shaw fit and available and at his best. I mean, yeah. When was his prime? His prime, I would say, he had 2 or 3 years where he was at the very, very top level. You honestly don't think that Luke Shaw is a good footballer? I think you're just letting recency bias take over. Forget about the injuries. Just remember Luke Shaw when he... Maybe you've only just started watching Manchester United recently. I don't know, but Luke Shaw was very, very good for Manchester United for a long period of time. And then he just got injured, and then he's just been injured forever, you know? So all I'm saying is, I'm just trying to be positive. I'm trying to say that hopefully he stays fit, and hopefully we see the best in Luke Shaw. I mean, that's not that unreasonable thing to say. I'm hoping that the man we're paying ridiculous amounts of money a week fulfills the potential that he fulfilled a few years ago. He's on 150 grand a week. So the simplicity of this matter is, we have seen Luke Shaw play well for Manchester United. Luke Shaw is now back from injury. I am hoping that Luke Shaw stays fit and he can regain some of the talent that he had a few years ago. Will it happen? Probably not. But what would you rather? I sit here and say, oh, he's a disgrace, he's rubbish. Like, I mean, where does that get us? Nowhere. It's just negative, it's toxic, it's unnecessary, realistically, you know? Luke Shaw was a good footballer. He did have good footballing ability. The same as Mason Mount. The same as Martial. You know, I'm thinking of all these players who were injury prone. Martial, for a couple of years, was amazing for Manchester United, and then he just got injured forever. Mason Mount for Chelsea won them the Champions League. He scored the goal that won them the Champions League. Sorry, he got the assist that won them the Champions League. He was phenomenal for them, and now he's just injured forever. These are all good footballers. They've just been riddled with injuries, and all I'm saying is, the positive news is that he's back from injury. Great. Let's hope he stays fit, and let's hope we can see something that warrants the 150 grand a week we're paying. That's all I'm saying. Will it happen? Probably not. But, yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. It is a Sunday. Go and enjoy your days. I'll be back tomorrow morning, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye-bye.